Private or group lessons? Which one will help you feel safer when you're learning to swim as an adult? If you're thinking about taking swimming lessons, this is one of the first questions we look at. Should I take private lessons or should I join a group? Usually the question that's underneath this is which one is going to help me feel safer and learn faster. Most adults usually assume that a private lesson is automatically safer and they'll learn more because they'll have more attention, they'll have more control, there'll be less exposure. And sometimes that's true, but not always. Safety isn't determined by how many people are in the water. It's determined by what's happening with your nervous system. So let's kind of take a look at both, the private versus the group. Private lesson, everything's focused on you. This can feel reassuring or it can feel intense. There's no blending in. There's no watching somebody else do it first. There's no shared laughter and joy and camaraderie or commiserating together. If you already feel self-conscious, it could feel like you're under a microscope. Private lessons can actually amplify your nervous system. Now let's consider a group lesson. There's less individual spotlight. You can observe before participating. You might realize, oh, I'm not the only one who feels this way or is asking these questions. The shared experience can reduce pressure quickly, but groups can move at a collective pace. And if you're feeling behind already, it could activate a compare and despair kind of feeling. Here's what really matters when you're looking at private versus group. It's which setting can you speak up in and advocate for yourself? Because every instructor, a group or a private lesson, they usually have a plan. There's a checklist, a sequence, a set of what's coming next. But if that checklist overrides your nervous system, it doesn't matter how many people in the water, if you're in a private or a group. If you don't feel like you have the space to say, wait, hang on, that's too fast. I'm confused. I need a little more time to marinate in this one. If you don't have that space, then the sense of safety goes away. Once your feeling of safety goes away, learning comes to a halt. So you want to ask yourself, where am I most likely to be able to stand up for my learning path? In a private lesson, do I feel comfortable interrupting the teacher and saying, hang on, nope, not yet. Let's do this some more. In a group lesson, do you feel comfortable asking for more time to do more repetitions or allowing the rest of the class to move on to something else while you figure out the step that you're on? Most adults don't need more courage or pushing through. They need permission to regulate the pace so they can regulate their own nervous system. A checklist is a nice learning guide, but your nervous system is what really determines what is the next step. If you can't slow down, then it doesn't matter if you're in a group or a private lesson. So when you're choosing between the group or the private lesson, ask yourself, where will I feel the most comfortable to say, hang on, I need this step to settle in. Not to impress others, not to keep up form, not to be perfect, but just to settle in. That's the environment that will help you feel safer so that you can learn to swim. That's what we're here for, to jump into that water with you, virtually or in person, to say, let's slow it down together and do the tiny steps that build up over time to be an amazing swimmer. Aloha!